Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 16 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. Got a skeleton glitching through the floor there. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Let me show you what I've been working on. I'm expanding my farmland, going to put some of the agriculture into Agrarian Skies today. Built myself a little pen, which I'm going to be putting some new animals into. Got some plans on that. And I increased the size of my witch water production area. What I've done is you can see I've run liquid ducts underneath everything. I have a bunch of dirt with mycelium spreading to it around all of the barrels. And I'm going to be putting barrels on top of each of these fluid ducts outputting water. And these fluid ducts here are going to take in the witch water from the barrel because you can pull fluids out the top of a barrel. You just can't pull items out the top of a barrel. So that'll be later on. I'll also probably set up a harvester to gather these mushrooms for me, because they'll be useful for biofuel production. First things first, I need more food. I've run through all of my fish and chips. Farming squids manually is getting old, and I've got that cow farm over there producing a lot of raw beef for me. So I'm going to show you what I can do with some of that to make a piece of food that's pretty much comparable to fish and chips. And the kind of food that I'm going to make is burgers, because what else do you do with lots and lots of beef? And I want to go straight to cheeseburgers, which are a wholesome meal. To make a cheeseburger, I need cheese and a hamburger. Cheese takes milk, a pot, and some salt. And the cheeseburger is made with toast, beef, and a skillet. Back here, in my chest, I've got myself some toast waiting for me. And I already have my skillet in my system. So there we go. Skillet plus toast plus beef equals burgers. Now, to add the cheese to that, I'm going to need to turn this milk into cheese. And the easiest way to do that is to take some buckets first, scoop up milk, turn into fresh milk in my inventory. And I'm going to set up a process to automate all of this later on, because there is a quest for thousands of bacon cheeseburgers. Bacon mushroom cheeseburgers, I believe. But that's going to be a long-term kind of goal. Right now, I just need something to eat. And I'm going to need 44 milk, or actually I'm going to need 60 milk to turn all of these hamburgers into cheeseburgers. I must have had more toast in the system than I realized. Alright, 2 more buckets. Now, to turn that milk into cheese, I need to combine it with a pot and salt. But that's why I've got this cyclic assembler sitting right here on top of some water. I got sick of generating salt by hand, so I taught it how to make salt out of a bucket of water and a pot. So I've got the pot in there. All I need to do is put the salt schematic there, and it'll very quickly make me a stack of salt. Or it would, except that portable tank ran out of water. No problem. And now I can take that salt, and I can input the cheese schematic, milk, pot, and salt. Oops. There we go. And then if I add my fresh milk, it will quickly make cheese. And then it's a simple matter of turning cheese and hamburger into cheeseburger. Now the cheeseburger can be further upgraded. I could make it into a bacon cheeseburger with, if I had pigs, which is on the list. I could make it a deluxe cheeseburger, which is fantastic because it's a wholesome large meal, if I had lettuce and tomatoes. Or, nope, those are the only things that I can do it. The bacon cheeseburger can be further upgraded with mushrooms to make bacon mushroom burgers, where the regular cheeseburger into the deluxe cheeseburger can then be upgraded into a feast, delighted meal, by using french fries and smoothies. And delighted meals are going to be my eventual goal food. That's going to be what I'm going to be living on. So these wholesome meals, I believe that's the same level as fish and chips. Yes, so that'll restore 4 blocks of hunger, and will last quite a while. Let me go sleep through the night. Alright, next on the docket. Part of farming is generating all of the materials I need for quests. That's the whole point of setting up all of these farms. And the quests that I'm most interested in getting completed right now, if I open Go with the Flow, you can see that I need milk. One of these is probably sewage, and one of them is probably mob essence. So I'm going to want to get those started processing in, as I've got a whole bunch of extra wasted milk that's basically doing nothing and costing me power to generate and disappear. Also, I have 256 spare buckets of sewage already, and more being generated all the time. There's no reason not to use those, except I just haven't set up the right machines for it yet. So, to make best use of that, I'm going to need to make myself a couple of the quest delivery system item, which is just a quest book and birchwood planks. Well, not birchwood, but wood planks and glass. So let me get some of this clay and dirt out of my inventory for the moment. Come over here. If I type in quest delivery, it should pop up on the right. And then I can shift click that. And I don't believe it uses the quest book. It does not use the quest book when you craft it. So I'm going to make myself a few of those, actually. Just going to take a moment. It keeps popping into my inventory, even if it's in the ME inventory. Now, before I can actually start in on those quests, I need to unlock them by completing fluid management. Fluid management requires me to make a fluid export bus and a fluid import bus for my AE system. Those are created with precision export and import buses, which I don't believe I have. So I'm going to create myself a precision export bus from the basic buses that I already have. I don't have any processors. So let's make some basic processor assemblies. I don't have any silicon either. Be right back as soon as I get the materials together for this. Alright, I am back with all of the materials that I needed. I have my precision export bus, my ME covered cable, some iron ingots, and a bucket to make a fluid export bus. And I have my precision export bus and all of the same to make a fluid import bus. So, another step, fluid storage. I need to make a fluid storage monitor. Let's take a look at what that requires. The fluid storage monitor requires a fluid level emitter, iron, glass, and covered cable. Fluid level emitter is just a level emitter with some blue dye, and the level emitter is made with processor, cable, iron, and redstone torch. So, I should have everything that I need to make that. Let's see what items are required. To make the level emitter, I need the redstone torch. There, one fluid level emitter. To make the fluid storage, I need the covered cable, which I need the wool for. Almost out of string, no cotton left. Good thing I'm working on farms today. I need to get significant more of that. And yes, I know I have 16 wool down here. That's for a different project. And there we have it. Covered cable, fluid level emitter, 4 iron, 3 glass, 1 fluid storage monitor. Open you up, and now fluid crafting. I need to create a liquicrafter. So, liquicrafter is created with machine block, a couple of portable tanks, and some books. Interesting. I'm missing the portable tanks, the books, and the crafting table. I'm out of copper ingots. Okay. That's an easy fix. There's 2 portable tanks, 1 crafting table, and 2 books. makes me one liquid crafter. And this is a Mine Factory Reloaded replacement for the cyclic assembler. I'm going to be investigating exactly what I can use that for and probably putting it to use sometime later. So for this, I get 5 more fluid import and export buses, a 64k fluid storage, and a full heart, plus my choice of reward bags. I'll take the center one. And in that center reward bag, I got a greater reward bag. Fantastic. One more heart. Ding, up to 18 points. And a complete lack of space. That's alright. Just dump everything in there temporarily. Let's see what's in that reward bag. I got a boat with feather falling 3. I already had a boat with feather falling 5. Oh well. They can't all be winners, right? Okay, so now I'm going to grab everything back out of here, and the entire purpose of this exercise was less about getting fluid storage going and more about being able to access the full set of go with the flow quests. Now, the ones I'm most interested in here are Strong Bones for 16 million buckets of milk, or maybe it's only 16,000. That might be 16 million millibuckets. That would be, fantastically wonderful. And that rewards a full heart and 3 red heart canisters. That's pretty cool. Also, the smelly, which I need 16 million millibuckets again of sewage, which gives me spawn cows and a full heart. But it's not the rewards that I'm after, it's simply getting to a point where I can start completing those. So let's see how this QDS is going to work to help me complete quests. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to place it down in the world. And for this particular quest that I want to do, I want to focus on the sewage. And I've already got a little bit of it in there, as I had to do a quick test on this to make sure it would all work and figure out how it functioned. So you place the quest delivery system down in the world, you click on you click select task, and you right click the book. We've seen all of this before. Now, to get the fluids in there, you pump into the top. Very specifically has to be the top. And I'm going to set this thing to whitelist sewage, because I will also have mob essence coming through these pipes, because when cows breed, they produce experience, and the sewers collect experience orbs as mob essence. Now, if I were to remove this drum right here, and set it on top of this, and set this guy to output, I can now go into the quest book and see that the sewage is flowing in, and it's being instantly converted into the quest completion rate. And on this, it'll tell me what percent completed I am of this particular quest. And it does look like it's running in 16k 16k buckets instead of 16 million buckets, which is fantastic. So now I can hook this straight up to the sewer, and well, once that mob essence is cleared out, I can get those to connect. Which I'm going to stick this mob essence drum right here to collect up the mob essence. As soon as that mob essence finishes draining out, that's sewage again. I can now, I guess I have to replace that. Oops, there we go. Replace that. And now there's sewage going through the whole thing. Once this empties out, sewage will automatically flow into the quest delivery system, and mob essence will go into this mob essence drum. And I am 1% complete on smelly shh. Yeah, I can't say that word on YouTube. It would earn me a no kids rating, which is not what I want. I want this to be a family-friendly channel. Alright, so now that that's processing, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to set up the exact same thing with this milk. And let's find out if I can have the milk coming in the bottom. The easiest way for me to do that is actually going to be to go back to my little AE room, get a bucket of milk out of that barrel. Alright, that drum's emptied out, and this is pumping in sewage when it has it, mob essence when it doesn't. And you can see that the sewage is progressing a lot more slowly now. I'm at 262,000 out of 16 million, but it's getting places, and at least it'll happen on its own. I don't need to pay any more attention to that quest, just someday it'll be done. I'll probably do some math to figure out exactly how long it'll be for that someday to occur. Alright, so I'm going to grab myself another pneumatic servo. I'm going to stick that empty drum right here so that I have something to pump into, and that'll allow me to whitelist the milk. You are milk. Whitelist. And now I could... Actually, that was completely unnecessary. Only milk is going to be pumped out of here by fluid. Oh well. So now I can set down... I need to put that drum back, and I need to set this to not connect long enough for me to set down the quest delivery system and set it to the proper quest. Because as soon as it connects, it'll start voiding all of my milk, whether I was ready for it to or not. So I'm going to go over to Strong Bones, select task, and boom. That is now set to Strong Bones. Milk does a zombie good, 0% complete. And I should see that Strong Bones is now processing. Fairly quickly, I might add. But once that runs out of milk, that'll slow right down. Not that I can see the milk. I think that's because of the texture pack that I'm using. It doesn't have a proper UI. Let's swap over to default. So in vanilla textures, I open up the rancher, and yep, I can see there is a milk, there is a fluid storage there. It's generating a bucket of milk every second. I need 16,000 buckets of milk, so that's, 16,000 seconds. That'll actually complete fairly quickly. And I can also drop down this fluid duct and put the milk drum on top and set you to output and give you some power, which I'll just use a servo for because I have one. Alright, there we go. And now milk is pumping in. It's going to empty out that barrel. Sewage is pumping in. Fantastic. So, why do I have this extra little pit over here? Well, I want better wool production than I currently have, and to do that, I wanted a nice place to keep some sheep. I've got some grass growing down there from my grass seeds out of Ex Nihilo. You get that by sieving dirt, if you remember. Sieving, I think. I'll never know. And to get some sheep, I could either set up a grass platform somewhere and wait for them to spawn, but that could take quite a while. So I'm going to put this chicken farm to use, and the whole reason I've been gathering lots of eggs, and I'm going to create some sheep spawn eggs. Chicken eggs can also be used to spawn an awful lot of other creatures. You can craft yourself, here we go, pig spawn eggs. Ooh, pig spawn eggs. That might be useful. Too bad I don't have any red dye. One more pig spawn egg and I have, pigs I can breed together. Sheep spawn eggs, cow spawn eggs, squid spawn eggs, as we've seen, and villager spawn eggs using emeralds. This is going to be very important sometime very soon because some of the villagers have very useful items. If you're noticing a little bit of stuttering as I walk down my road here, that's just the way Minecraft handles loading new chunks. I've got a long enough platform at this point that some chunks load and unload as I go, and even though those chunks are completely empty, there's just nothing that I can do about it. I tried installing Optifine just to make things work a little bit better and load a little bit smoother. Unfortunately, it didn't help any. Well, I mean, it helped. It fixed the problem entirely, but it caused the Java barrels and thermal expansion machines to have an awful lot of flicker on them. And that's been something I've been told that is just on the Optifine end, and there's nothing that either of those devs or the Forge people can do about it, or should be expected to do about it. So, until there's a mod that smooths out chunk loading in a way that doesn't cause this stutter, I'm just going to have to live with it. That or upgrade to a server to deal with some of this. So, now that I've got my sheep in their new pit-like home, you might be wondering why grass? Well, every time sheep regrow wool, they need to consume grass off the top of a block and turn it back into a dirt block. It's just how they grow wool. Apparently, they directly convert plant life into, see? There one goes now, and it is now a woolly sheep. So I have two options for collecting the wool off of them that I know of. I could use my Flux Infused Omni Wrench and go down there and do it manually by right-clicking, but I want more wool than that's going to produce easily. So I've got myself a couple of ranchers here, which I'm going to hook up with the rest of the general goodies in the area to give me your delicious wool. It's really not delicious, but I need it for my ME cables. I'm going to hook up these ranchers so that I can automatically collect their wool without needing to worry about it. Now, ranchers cover a 5x5 block in front of them and cannot be upgraded in any way. Unfortunately, I double checked. And I need to provide a pipe out the back of the rancher. So we're actually not going to put it in this wall. We're going to put it in this wall. And this won't be absolutely perfect, in that there will be a single space in between that they will be able to stand and not be, sheared. But I'm going to go with it as good enough. Deposit a couple more things and make some more room. Always a mess in this inventory. All right, F7. Yep, I need to get that torch back up. There we go. Torch on the wall. And rancher over here. Turn it around. And I'm going to get this all hooked up, and then I'll come back and show you the ranchers in action. And that will probably be us done for the day. We'll see. Alright, folks. I was over there trying to hook up the ranchers for the sheep farm, and it was a spaghetti mess of pipes everywhere. So it's time to upgrade. I'm going to be using a newer, better method of transporting things. And that's going to be tesseracts. Now, you've seen me fill up the tesseract frames before. Just make yourself the frame with Enderium, hardened glass, and diamond. I've been making up rather a bit of Enderium. I've got, quite a bit of this stuff at this point. Let that fill with Resident Ender. And then I'll show you what I'm... Oops. Forgot. Outputs to chest. And once I have another one of these, I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. So once you have your two filled tesseract frames, come over here, look up the tesseract in NEI, and to make the full tesseract, you just need to surround it with silver and bronze. Now, I don't have any bronze at the moment, but bronze is really easy to make from forestry. It's just a case of 1 tin and 3 copper. And it takes 4 bronze per tesseract. I'm just going to make myself a stack of bronze right now because I know I'm going to be using it and I have the resources. So, tesseract, silver, bronze, full tesseract frame. And these function as remote links, kind of. They allow me to teleport items, liquids, and energy around. And what I'm going to be using it for, you see I've cleaned up the power and computer room a little bit. Going to be expanding this back here to set those dynamos that you've already seen me using back up and make a little power plant out back here. So what I'm going to be using these for is I'm going to be piping power out to a whole bunch of systems and using the same tesseract to pipe in items and liquids. And the tesseract, being that it is a fairly intelligent device, will see this ME interface nearby, and it has an inventory to it. And anything that gets dumped into this inventory gets immediately sucked into the ME network. So it's going to output any item that comes through it into the ME interface, which is going to transition everything into the ME network for me. To get fluids out of it, I'm actually going to use this fluid import bus, which is placed right on the top of it like that. Any fluids that flow into the tesseract will get sucked out by the import bus, and will get stored into this 64k fluid storage that I got as one of the quest rewards for Go with the Flow. And it's sitting on top of a redstone energy conduit coming off of my 2 redstone energy cells, which are currently hooked up to my 9 TNT generators. Now, to configure this, I'm going to set a random frequency. We'll go with frequency 25. And I'm going to name it Power Out Resources In. Oh, that doesn't work. I'm terrible at these names, so we'll just name it default. I'm bad at naming things. I'm going to set it to redstone ignored because I never want this thing to shut off for any reason whatsoever. Now, right now it's set to receive all. I want it to only receive items and fluids, but I want it to send energy. It is now set to only send energy and only receive items and fluids. So how that's going to work, I'm going to come over here to this rancher that's set up next to the sheep and show you. So I've got the rancher set up in the wall right there. So I'm going to dig down the 2 spaces to get next to it, which will also be a nice open path to the void, so caution required. And all I need to do is plug this tesseract in right here and set it to the default frequency. I also need to set it to send items because this the rancher will be outputting items into the tesseract. So click that on. You can see that the rancher is now active and has energy and is getting work. And that sheep's close enough now. Oh, the sheep was close enough. It wandered away. Let me just push this sheep close enough. And it gets sheared. Item did not end up in the world. If I come back and take a look at my AE network, a wireless access has been suggested for the AE network and is something that's definitely on the list. As I keep saying, it is a long list. Take a look at my wool. I only had 9 to begin with. Now I'm up to 10, so it's working just fine. Everything's getting pumped through the system. And now all I need to do when I want to set up another little machine like that is to put down 1 tesseract so that it will have power and I can receive items and fluids from it. Now, this does mean I'm going to need to add better fluid management capabilities to my ME network, which is something that I've definitely been interested in because I want to be able to send different fluids through the network. I want to be able to store more than 5 types of fluids. And just in general, I want to get this ME network upgraded to the point where it becomes the backbone of my base instead of just a glorified chest at the moment. This tesseract setup right here is the first step along that path. One last thing before wrapping up, I wanted to show you the witch water production once it's all set up. So, water's being produced by the aqueous accumulator, being piped in through these fluid ducts in the bottom, which is coming up into the barrels. And then these fluid ducts on top all have a pneumatic servo installed in them and are whitelisted to pull out witch water and ignore redstone signal. So they'll always be pumping out, but they'll only pull witch water. And I've already got 256 buckets of the stuff put together. All I need to do is, get this supplied with sand. But to do that, I actually want to run the AE system down this way. I'm going to do that between episodes, pick a spot somewhere along the road and run cable all the way down here so that I can start supplying items easily to this whole area. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the series thus far. If you are, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. It really helps a lot with me getting more exposure. I will see you next time.